And this is an Attlee Dodge under-seat battery tray. So I can mount that Oddessy battery. I've been using that anyway. It was underneath the back seat before, but this mounts it underneath the pilot seat. Oh, it just rivets in right here, and then there's a clamp that fits over this tube and bolts in there someplace to hold it up. I have to fabricate a mount for that for the solenoids so we can get those on there. This is the seat bottom, and I cleaned it up a little bit, wiped it down, and when I first looked at it, it didn't look too bad. I was going to sandblast it, thinking about sandblasting it and powder coating it, but once I started cleaning it up, it didn't look too bad. But I just got it and turned it around a little bit and looked at it a little bit different, and I can see some rust coming through the paint in a few spots there. This is the seat bottom that you sit on. Over here is the seat frame, and then this sits on top of the seat frame. So this is where the hinge cover goes. I take these springs off of there, and then this fits on top of that like that. I had these apart a few years ago and cleaned all this up and powder coated it. So I had a hinged back seat put in, so it puts in these arms right here, so the back seat, the seat back will hinge forward and fold up, and so this part is real good and clean. It's a little dusty, but there's no rust or anything on it. It's been freshly powder coated, so it's in good shape. So we'll just take the springs out of here. The springs have little clips here that hold them together to keep them, kind of spread the load out on them, and it's just a matter of opening those keepers up just a little bit, squeezing the springs together, and then letting them drop. Well, that's the easy part. And the springs are fitted into holes here into the frame on both sides, so you've got to squeeze those out and get those out. That's a little tougher, but it's not impossible. Of course, can't be impossible. They went in there, right? Okay, here's what the springs look like when they come out. They are definitely sprung, so they're a little struggle getting them out of there, but they're not too bad. The ones on the outside were harder to come out than the ones in the middle because they came out onto this bar, but they were able to manipulate them out with a little twisting and a little cursing. Anyway, I cleaned that up, and then this gets put on there like that, and there's a hinge right here that gets riveted on the back of the seat there and onto that rear crossbar. There's no STC on this. It's just a part that you change. There's no PMA or STC or anything on it. This is the instructions for it. Here, this is what it comes with. The seat bottom, which is well, it says 55 thousandths, so it must be 50 thousandths aluminum with powder coat on it. I thought it was 40. Got holes punched in it, lightning holes punched in it. Comes with a 9-inch section of aluminum hinge. This is the hinge that's drawn, so all of the hinge barrels are all an integral part of the whole hinge, instead of, they're not the ones that are folded. Comes with 6 AD 426 4-5 rivets that go between the hinge and the seat bottom, and then it comes with some Cherry Max rivets to go from the seat bottom, or from the hinge into the frame, the seat frame rail. So I've got this hinge drilled out for the rivets. They send 6 rivets, and just basic general instructions to put them approximately 1.5 inches apart. So I found the center of the hinge here and tried measuring off of it to balance it out. That didn't work very well. I came off of this end 1 inch and laid out holes, and that was too far off of this end. It put it too close to this end, so I came off of this end 3/4 of an inch, and then 1.5 inches between holes, and that balanced out perfectly. That left 3/4 of an inch on this end and 3/4 of an inch on this end, 1.5 inches between holes, and 6 holes. So I've got the holes. I piloted the holes out to 1/8 inch, and then I brought it up here and laid it out on the seat bottom. Found the center of the seat bottom here and measured it out, the width of the hinge. Drilled the holes out with a number 30 drill bit, and now I've countersunk these holes for the flat rivets, and then we can use a rivet squeezer and put this together with the AN 426 rivets here on this side. And I need to lay this out on the frame and drill the holes here, and then these are 1/8 inch holes still on this side, so I'll use a 1/8 inch drill bit and locate the holes and then drill them out to number 30, and then I can countersink these for the cherry rivets. Well, anyway, that's all there is to the kit here. I don't remember what it cost. It should be part of this underseat battery kit, but it's not. You have to buy it separately. I guess you could probably fumble around with the underseat battery and you get it in and out of there, but it's a whole lot easier with this seat kit in there. Well, I found the center of this rear part of the seat frame and marked it, and I marked it around the corner here, so when it covered up with this hinge I'd still be able to see the mark. And I marked the center of the hinge, and the best way I could find to clamp this down was just with masking tape. I put masking tape on it, run around the frame and around the hinge, lining the hinge up with the forward part of this rear seat frame, flush with it, and then I held it all down and drilled the first hole, and I put a cleco in it so I could make sure and locate that first hole. And I came down here and held this one, drilled the second hole, put a cleco in it, and then I had a good hold on it so all the holes would stay lined up. And I went ahead and drilled out the rest of the holes there. Those are all piloted out with an 1/8 inch bit, and now that they're located I can go ahead and go back through them with a number 30 bit for the finished size for the rivets. And then I'll countersink these rivet holes, and then I'll clean this thing up and take it down and powder coat it black. I got my hinge all powder coated. It's ready to go together. The nice thing about powder coating is it takes about the same amount of time to prep everything as it does to paint it, clean everything up right and everything. But once you squirt the paint on there, it takes about 15 minutes or so for it to flow out and to set up. And then as soon as it cools off enough to handle, it's ready to use. There's no paint flowing or for days or being soft for days or anything else. This is all ready to go. We'll take the 426 rivets and rivet this onto the seat bottom, and then we'll take the Cherry Max rivets and rivet it onto the seat frame. So before I painted this, I had everything marked on here with a marker as to which side was which, but you wipe all those marks off and everything before you paint it. And so I took a center punch and I just punched 3 little marks on there to show which one went to the seat bottom. Put a couple of clecos in here to hold this thing together. Ready to go. I can take the rivet squeezer and use it to put these 426 rivets in, and that uses the same sets as what I did the other day with the number 3 rivets. There's no change in anything like there is with dome head rivets, so we'll just put those in. And actually these probably should use these are number 5s. They probably should use number 4s. Yeah, I think they should use number 4s. Luckily I have some number 4s. Okay, so I was wrong. I don't have any number 4s. I've got 5s. There's one. The number 5 rivets are just too long. yeah, that's much better. Much better. These 5 rivets, 5 length rivets, are just too long. There's one of these, a couple of these are bent over, nailed over. I'm going to go ahead and drill out one of them and replace it. Fortunately, I have some. The ones I have are also 5 length, so I'll have to cut it off too. That's better. I'll drill out that one too. These should have had 4s in them and not 5s. I got one more in there. I guess I might as well drill it out too. I can see that it's nailed over a little bit. Okay, well, there's the rivets in the seat base. Now I wished I could have powder coated these after I got the rivets set in there, but this plate was already powder coated, and so there's no way that's gonna work out too well. So okay, there's one. There's 2. Three. Okay, there's the folding seat bottom. Yeah, the Dodge folding seat bottom. I think I'll get some black paint and touch up these rivet heads. It won't look quite so bad. Of course, with the seat cushion on there, you never see it anyway. Well, there's the seat bottom installed. That looks not too bad. It's now beginning to cover it up with the seat cushion anyway, but it just folds up. Of course, the seat cushion snaps in here to the snaps on the side, so that'll hold everything down. But there it is. One more little project out of the way.